I've had the opportunity to travel so many places in the last maybe 5 years in the reparations space, whether it's locally around the city of Chicago where I live, or coming out to Evanston, or going around the country in other cities around the United States, or even going overseas. I see a guy out there who invited me to Cambridge, and Robin went to Cambridge, London, being in Europe, in Geneva, Switzerland, speaking on the continent of Africa. I'm always encouraged and amazed and inspired by all the brilliant black minds who are doing this work at this time. And I'm inspired by all the brilliant black minds I see out here today. I want you to give yourself a hand. We are, as Dr. Daniel stated, we are the ones we've been waiting for, our people waiting for. We have to do this work, and we're going to win. I tell Robin all the time, we are winning. We got the power, and we're going to win. But it's those of us in this room who's going to make it happen. I'm supposed to talk about the state of the national movement. Instead of focusing on what's happening nationally, Robin did an excellent job of that. I want to talk about what we, those of us in this room, can do and must do nationally in this effort toward full reparations for the centuries of crimes committed against our and our ancestors' humanity in and by this nation. As many of you know, full reparations is the international standard for redress and has 5 components of repair: cessation and assurance and guarantees of non-repetition, restitution, compensation, satisfaction, and rehabilitation. Under international law, the goal of full reparations is, as much as possible, quote, wipe out all consequences, unquote, of the crimes and atrocities that were committed. Those of us here in this room know that those crimes and atrocities were committed at each level of government in this country. That is why we're gathered here at this symposium. Additionally, we are aware that the crimes and atrocities were committed by many non-governmental actors like corporations, institutions, and prominent families. We will dig deeply into that in one form of addressing those non-governmental complicit actors tomorrow. In talking about what we can and what we must do nationally, right now I believe everyone would agree that this is a national gathering of local reparation activists and advocates who are working on local and state initiatives. In addition, I want us to see ourselves as a national gathering of local reparations advocates who must also focus on the national or federal issue of redress from our local spaces. In essence, by entering this movement, you automatically have a dual role and responsibility in the movement, both local and federal, at the same time. 3 years ago, at Robin's request, I penned a pamphlet laying the foundation for local reparations, a national guide for providing symmetry in the local reparations movement. One of the purposes of the local reparations I pointed out was to propel the nation's a national conversation and action around H.R. 40 and the Federal Redress Bill. Initially, it was thought that the more local initiatives that were developed, the more pressure would put on the federal government to act. That still remains true. The work we are all doing in this regard is of the utmost importance. And it's also important for other purposes that I indicated in the pamphlet. However, at this time in the movement, we need more action nationally targeted directly at the federal government from local spaces. Let me repeat that. We need more action nationally targeted directly at the federal government from local spaces. The federal reparations movement was largely an inside movement. It was those organizations and individuals who were working primarily with the Congress and with the Senate to get the bill passed. We went as far as we can go in that direction. It must come from the ground. It must come locally at this point. In November of last year, a major shift occurred in the national reparations movement. The Republican Party won control of the House of Representatives. And with their control, many national reparations activists shifted their work from national efforts toward local reparations, almost abandoning the federal effort. Taking our eyes off the federal goal is a mistake on several fronts. First, we never really expected to get the legislation passed through Congress. Those of us who have been working for years, pushing with Mrs. Conyers, and then later with our new leader, Congressman Sheila Jackson Lee, we knew that a congressional bill was not going to be passed. We worked on the legislative process to demonstrate that there was political will on behalf of Congress for a federal redress bill. In that effort, we worked hard to get H.R. 40 passed out of the Judiciary Committee to be sent to the House floor for a full vote. We were successful in getting it passed out of committee for the first time in its 30-plus year history. We worked to get a Senate companion bill established. Kenneth Henry is out here. When Kenneth came to NCOBRA, before I appointed her to the Legislative Commission chair, now she's the national co-chair of NCOBRA. The two of us walked the halls of Congress, the Senate building, trying to get a senator to introduce a Senate bill, and we were successful in getting Cory Booker to introduce that Senate bill. We got the Senate Majority Leader to co-sponsor the bill, and 10 of the 21 Senate committee chairs to co-sponsor, and nearly a dozen other colleagues also signed on to the Senate bill. But even if the bill had passed out of the House of Representatives, and we worked very hard to get it done, to no avail, unfortunately, we knew it couldn't get passed in the Senate. We would need a 60-vote majority to prohibit the bill from being filibustered by hardline conservatives. We knew we couldn't get just one Republican to vote for the bill, so certainly it would be a fantasy to believe we can get 10. So the goal was to always pivot toward an executive order by the president to establish a reparations commission. We achieved our initial goal of proving to the president that his party has the political will to support the passage of this legislation. 217 confirmed votes in the House, and again, top Senate leadership and support in the Senate. And where you all come in, we also demonstrated that cities and states all around this country have signed on to show that redress for Black America is needed and wanted. President Biden has no doubt of the political will of his party and the demand from his largest voting bloc, the Black electorate. Now that's where we all come in, you all come in, we all come in this room. Currently, the president has not been moved by this demonstration of political will. However, he and his party are extremely worried about the Black vote in 2024. If you Google Democrats worried about the Black vote, you'll find dozens of articles. Well over $100 million will be spent toward targeting the Black electorate in this upcoming election, probably closer to 200, maybe 300 million. They've already started targeting toward the young Black male. Black voters are 20% of the Democratic Party's base. That is tremendous power. That's larger than all other people of color in the party combined. And there appears to be a sizable defection from the Democratic Party by Black voters. That's what has them worried. Some Blacks are saying that they will vote for Trump. Freudian slip. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Baba. Wow. Need that humor, man. This work gets so serious sometimes. You need that humor. Some people say that they will vote for Trump, some saying they will vote for a third party, and others saying they're not voting at all. If this stands as it is, the Democratic Party will lose in 2024. If it continues, they will lose big. So what we have are three foundational truths that we are building a national campaign around to push the president into establishing a federal reparations commission. That campaign is entitled Earn the Black Vote National Campaign. If you go to earntheblackvote.net for more information and to sign on to join in this work. Also, we have a QR code later where you can get the form and share widely. But what are those three foundational truths that we base this campaign on? One, the Democratic Party needs overwhelming support of the Black vote to win in 2024. That's undeniable. All the major mainstream publications are saying it. Washington Post, Time, New Yorker, etc. The Democratic Party is totally dependent upon the black vote. Biden or no other Democrat can win without it, they say. The second foundational truth is blacks, we need a commitment by this party before the election to reparatory justice and ending structural and systemic racism.
That's right.
This has to be our truth as we engage the national political process. In other words, our vote must be earned and not taken for granted. The third foundational truth is that in order to achieve both of these outcomes, the president must establish a reparations commission by executive order now. We have a short window of opportunity, and we need local representation all around the country, echoing and organizing around these three foundational truths. It is my sincere hope that each of us here recognize and accept our dual role and responsibility in this movement. We are a national representation of local leaders working on state and local initiatives and the federal initiative simultaneously. We can and we must do both. This is a handout that talks about the power of the black vote historically in America over the last 70 years. Over the last 70 years, the Republican Party has won a majority of the white vote in every presidential election, with the exception of 1964, when Lyndon Baines Johnson won 74% of the vote, of the white vote. Every other election since that time, the Republicans have won the majority of the white vote. There could not have been a Democratic president. Kennedy would not have been elected. Carter would not have been elected. Clinton would not have been elected twice. Obama would not have been elected twice, and Biden would not have been elected if it wasn't for the black vote. That's tremendous power. Why aren't our leaders telling us we have this power? It doesn't matter, we're going to use it. Whether they're saying it or not, we have to use it, and we're going to use it now. But this handout will give you some information on how powerful the black vote is in this country. Another handout, if you go to our table, is this postcard. It's a postcard of Pastor Turner's. Pastor Turner does an annual walk from Baltimore to the White House, approximately 40 miles, 40 for HR 40, and he lays a black wreath at the White House. And this is a picture of that black wreath that he lays monthly at the White House. On the other side, this is a postcard directed to President Biden. It says, and it's from the black elected, President Joe Biden, let's win together. The Democratic Party desperately needs the black vote in 2024. Black voters need a commission now for reparatory justice. Establish a reparations commission by executive order now. This is how we win, and the only way you can win. Let's win together, time is running out. There's stacks of 50s on the desk at the Resource Center. Grab your 50, take them home wherever you are. Take more than 50 you like. Make sure they're mailed in. About 60,000 pieces of mail come to the White House every week. There's 2,500 of those postcards out there. If they all mailed next week, 1 out of every 22 pieces of mail will be this postcard. So again, go to earntheblackvote.net, fill out the form, join one of the working groups. Again, we got the power, we must use it. Asante Sana, Eluda Continua, Pomoja Tashinde, and Billy Shaka. Many thanks. The struggle continues. Together, we will be victorious. Reparations now.
Another round of applause for Kamm Howard.